Hello everyone, this is Daniel from IGN, and I'm going to give you a brief preview of the FIFA 13 demo, which is hitting Xbox, PlayStation and PC tomorrow, September 11th. I'm really just going to show you a quick game of FIFA 13 and point out some of the major differences if you're a fan of the series as and when they happen. So when you boot up the demo, you'll be presented with the menu screen. The kind of big difference, I guess, is that man there in the corner. If you've got any passing interest in football, you'll probably recognise that as Lionel Messi, the greatest player in the world, and he's there emerging from a big glass football egg. As you know, it's where all great players come from. Big glass football eggs. Obviously most of this stuff won't be accessible to you in the demo, Ultimate Team, Seasons, Career and so on, but what will be is Kickoff. So if we go to this main tab of the menu, you've got Kickoff, which is obviously just a quick game of FIFA, but you've also got live fixtures and games of the week, and this is to do with Match Day, which is a new feature in FIFA 13. So if you just go into live fixtures, you'll see this will be your default team, and it'll show you the upcoming fixtures for that team, like the next 4 games in the league or whatever, and you'll be able to play those quickly. And if you go down one more, you've got games of the week, and this will kind of highlight the biggest fixtures from various leagues around the world. This is just telling you what you need to know, some of the major differences in gameplay, but I'm going to point those out, so let's just skip past those. Okay, so this is Team Select. I'm just going to briefly turn off Match Day. So if I turn that off using Y or triangle on PlayStation, it strips away a lot of the extra data and you're left with something that's pretty recognisable from FIFA 12. You can select your teams and you've got the kind of locked-in ratings of various attributes: attack, midfield and defence. So I'm going to play as Man City today, the Premier League champions, and obviously they're a pretty formidable team. Now if I turn on Match Day, we're presented with a lot of extra information. If you look above the crest, you've got the form of the team, so that's the results in the last 5 fixtures, and you've got the relative position in the respective league. Currently this is not live data, but we've got Man City there in first place in the Premier League. And what's interesting is the stats for attack, midfield and defence. Now they're going to change throughout the season depending on how well that team is currently doing in their league. So Man City's stats are up, they're obviously playing well. If we look on the other side, Arsenal, their defensive rating has dropped by 1 point. If we look at their form, they've lost their last game, that might be tied in with something like that. Their players aren't doing as well either, so it's all kind of related. Now EA say they have a team of people around the world who will be tracking and monitoring the form of players and teams and adjusting these stats accordingly. So it's really in an effort to keep FIFA in sync with the reality, so it's always in step. So the game, when it comes out at the end of September, doesn't lose touch with reality. So let's pick Man City and let's take on Juventus, the champions of Italy. Playing home kit, and Juventus, well, that's just embarrassing, that kit. So let's put them in the traditional black and white. Now you're going to be in the demo, you're going to be limited, I believe, to the Etihad Stadium and 3 minutes aside, so we'll kind of retain those settings. If you look at the teams on either side, you can see that match day data being pulled in. So if we look at the Man City team, Hart, Zabaleta are obviously playing quite well. Zabaletta's rating has increased by 2 points. He's obviously hit a little bit of form, so has Aguero. But someone like Lescott and Tevez, maybe they've had a couple of bad games. Lescott might have made a defensive mistake, for instance, and his rating has dropped by 1 point. So we're going to just jump straight into the match here. So when the game is loading, you'll be presented with one of these skill games. Now you can play these separately and they're accessible from the main menu. And they're a really good way of brushing up on your kind of foundational FIFA skills, from passing to dribbling to shooting. This is the shooting one. So it kind of encourages you and teaches you how to aim for the corners, which is obviously going to maximise your chances of scoring. Didn't do so well that time. I will get this eventually. Oh, See, there's too much pressure when you're capturing. Like, I do this. I promise you, I do this fine in practice. I think it's performance anxiety. I hear it's a common problem amongst men my age. Oh, this is just embarrassing now. There you go. Now I feel like I can start the game without any shred of embarrassment. Let's go. So these are the new intro graphics. As you can imagine, they're pretty slick and quite polished. There's lovely bits of animation to go along with them. Kind of really builds the atmosphere preceding a game. But here we go, there's rousing music, and we've got commentary today by Martin Tyler and Alan Smith, who are obviously the same from FIFA 12, but you also have the alternate commentary team of Clive Tilsley and Andy Townsend, with quite the nice addition of Jeff Shreves on the sideline, who kind of reports on injuries that happen throughout the game. So these are the introductory graphics. The teams are walking out. Nice cameraman graphics there. Little cameraman walking about. I imagine most people skip this, but I'm just going to let it play for a little bit. Lovely stuff. They're going mental. Look at them. Oh, football, eh? Oh, football. Lots of bottoms. And okay, I'm going to skip this now. Let's get into the game. So you've got the teams lining up, the presentation's all really nice, kind of mirroring something you'd see on Sky Sports. Let's go.
No, he's never shined, putting his opinion forward, and maybe he'll be thinking or wishing. Right,
so one thing I'll show you right at the beginning here is if you hold down both triggers, you kind of drop down into this close dribbling technique. If you've played FIFA Street, it's kind of similar to that Street ball control. Like, you can move in any direction, you can move forward and backwards. And it's quite good for like dropping a shoulder, especially when you're on the wing, if you want to go past the player. I'll try and do that. I can't promise you that I'll succeed, but here we go. And then let go left trigger, and you should be able to go past him. I kind of messed that up. I'll give it another go in a second.
The team relying on its defenders to keep out this dangerous-looking attack. Got to cross it. We've just picked up a bit of gossip, Alan, about the reserve player who's not in the team. Trying to keep it private, but we've heard about it, that he's not happy. Spoken. Shots on here. Still in play here. Got to be. And that's the first.
And let's celebrate with the robot. There are new celebrations in the game. That's one of the old ones. It's one of my favourites. So visually, the game, I don't think there's kind of massive improvements. I think it's more in the kind of feel of the gameplay that you'll really start noticing some major differences. So I'm on defence now, and defending's really not changed since FIFA 12 when they introduced tactical defending. So it's still about applying pressure and containing play, and then timing your challenges rather than just sending out kind of ballistic missile defenders. So this is a really good example where FIFA 13 differs, is your kind of attacking options. The runs that your players make are really nice. You see players kind of running out ahead, demanding the ball, pointing to the ground where they want the ball to be played. And I think that's most notable when you're kind of transitioning from defence into attack. The options you have and the way that you're able to break is much more realistic. At first it's quite a subtle difference, but if you play FIFA 13 for any amount of time and go back to FIFA 12, you realise how kind of restrictive it is when you're on the attack.
That's a great interception. Good ball. And it ends with this shot. Well, the goalkeeper's had to make a save. The shot was a decent enough one, but too straight. Something could be on here. It's a good way to nick the ball back. Quick thinking. Pirlo's mind was read there by the defender who intercepts the pass. Marquisio. That's a real tussle for the ball. Paolo De Cegli. Vucinic. Aguero. Still going, still striving to attack.
Sometimes
he's clear. Silva. Well, he has a go. It's one of the great sights of the game. A quick
I cannot believe that I missed that. That is so embarrassing. That's on the internet.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to give them credit for the way that they did create the chance. And if they can keep up that kind of tempo, the way they move the ball forward, it's going to be positive for them.
And they've got the ball back and they want to use it and get forward quickly. Oh, and a possibility here for Manchester City. Zabaleta. Foul by the Manchester City player.
That was never a foul.
Vucinic under challenge. That's good control. It's with Toure. Excellent passing here. So dangerous.
Right. That's a really good example of first touch control. Actually, I'm going to go in and just show you the instant replay of what happened there. So let's just pause that. So let's go to free camera and just move this around. So Nasri's on the wing here, and he's going to pass this ball in. So he's sliding, so he's played that ball at quite a bit of pace. And then, so Aguero squares this ball to Barry, and it goes past Barry to Silva, and Silva is just going to take this ball at speed. Now, we probably shouldn't do this. What I should have done, I've got sprint held down. What I should do is probably just receive it without any sprint applied. Because I take it at sprint, he kind of has a very heavy touch, even though he's a very skillful player. He kind of receives that ball a little bit too heavily, and see that? It gets away from him. And that miscontrol, this is called first touch control, means the defender can come in and take that off him. Well, Barry was able to recover the ball there, but Vidal eventually gets it. Now, there are several factors that determine the control of the ball, the first touch. One of the things is the relative skill of that player. So if you're a more skillful player, you're more likely to control that ball first time. So Messi is obviously going to control more difficult balls than a less capable player. But it's also other facts like the speed of the pass, is it played in at pace, the spin of the ball, the angle of the pass. And at first, like, it can be a little bit of a frustrating mechanic, you know. Going back to FIFA 12, what you realise is every player almost has this kind of magnetic, beautiful, magical touch where even the most difficult balls they can pluck out of the air. But in FIFA 13, you have to evaluate sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes how you're going to receive the ball and what's the best way to receive it. Ultimately, at the heart of any good sports game is this kind of dialogue between making a realistic game and making a fun game. Sometimes if you make it too realistic, you compromise how fun it can be. And I think the first touch is a really good way of getting the balance right. If you didn't know why you were miscontrolling it, or it happened too often, it would be the most kind of frustrating feature that you could ever incorporate into a FIFA game. Like, you'd be miscontrolling it all the time. But because over time it's subtle, and over time you learn how to use it to your advantage, because you can knock the ball into space, it becomes actually a brilliant feature.
Here's the chance. He stopped the first shot. He needed to be quick there. Urgent work from him, and he's kept them out really on his own. Marquisio. Good ball. Tackle here. Oh, and they would have been in but for that vital stop. Carlos Tevez.
See, you can see that I've got options here. I've got two players running on either wing. I can play it back into the centre. Go for the chip.
It's come back off the post.
Oh! How did that not go in? Oh wait, sorry, I have to see that again. I don't know why that happened. Because I think there was some spin on the ball that stopped that from... That's not a great angle. There you go. See, I played that with the outside of my left foot, so there's spin on it. You see the ball spinning with backspin on, and that backspin means it comes off the post at the wrong angle, and I can't even force and bundle it over the line. That's frustrating.
Well, the manager's had a bit of public pressure from one of the lads he's left out of the team today. He's still stuck in the reserves.
It's a big...
We can have a crack here. Excellent block. Well, the defender panicking there. He just got the ball away. Now Barry. Great to see the back heel done beautifully. Arturo Vidal. Lichtsteiner. Silva. Can be deadly from this sort of situation. Maybe for Manchester City, and he lets fly here. It's a goal!
Actually, that was quite a nice goal. When Aguero was receiving that ball, then I kind of just tapped the right analog just to knock it past the keeper, and I was able to finish from a tight angle.
There is a danger here that this match is becoming rather one-sided. Arturo Vidal. They're passing it well here.
You look at the defender's positioning, Martin, and he got it all wrong.
Well, here he is, the man you've been reading about, been talking about for several weeks now because of this. Will he go, will he stay? Well, we know he's going to stay and he's going to play, and maybe it's all going to go behind him and us now.
Well, he'll want to put it to bed and move on, I think. There's been a lot of umming and ahhing, and he's probably got a bit more money in the process, but he needs to concentrate on the next 90 minutes.
Now Tevez. And they're getting forward well. And the shot at the end of it. What a brilliant goal.
And we'll go for the back foot. So there's actually quite a few new celebrations in the game that you can practice and master. Yeah.
One of those days he'll look back on with such fondness.
I absolutely loved that.
And the force is with them, as the scoreline shows. For an interception, that's quite a vital one.
Is it time to showboat?
Lost possession after David Silva's
probably
given the
served me
ball
right.
away. Contesting possession. Silva. Could be a gap here. He goes for goal! He hasn't dealt with the danger totally. Has a go with the volley.
So that's full time.
Get the result here they wanted.
Thankfully, I was able to win with a hat-trick for Aguero and 4-0.
Such a one-sided match at this level of the game, but that's what we've seen, Alan.
Well, we have, and credit to the players out there for playing so well and for dominating it right from start to finish.
So you've got the highlights of the game as per normal.
Smith enjoyed it alongside me.
Man of the match was Aguero. Oh, it's actually Nasri with 9.9 rating. All this stuff, you know, is very familiar if you've played FIFA. They haven't messed with what kind of works. You've got your overall statistics. And that was FIFA 13. The demo, like I said, is out tomorrow across all platforms, PlayStation, Xbox and PC. And the game comes out at the end of September. I hope you've enjoyed this brief glimpse of what to expect tomorrow.